The biting November wind whipped Amelia's hair across her face as she waited at the deserted bus stop. Each gust felt like a tiny, icy hand tugging at her already frayed nerves. Across from her, Liam stood rigidly, his shoulders hunched against the cold, his gaze fixed on the empty road. The silence between them was thick, heavy with unspoken words, and the looming finality of this moment. They had 5 minutes. 5 minutes before Liam's bus arrived. 5 minutes before their world shattered into a million pieces. 5 minutes to say everything, and nothing at all. Amelia shifted her weight, the worn leather of her bag digging into her hip. She wanted to reach out, to touch his hand, to feel the familiar comfort of his presence one last time. But she hesitated, the fear of breaking down, of shattering the fragile composure they had painstakingly built, holding her back. Liam finally broke the silence, his voice barely a whisper against the wind. "This isn't how I imagined saying goodbye," he said, his eyes searching hers. A mixture of pain and resignation etched on his face. Amelia swallowed, her throat suddenly tight. "No," she managed, her voice trembling slightly. "It isn't." She reached into her pocket, pulling out a small, smooth stone, warm from her hand. It was their stone, a silent symbol of their shared memories, a promise whispered on a summer evening. She placed it gently in his palm. A tear escaped and traced a cold path down her cheek. Liam's thumb brushed against hers, a fleeting touch that spoke volumes. He squeezed her hand, a silent acknowledgement of the unspoken love that filled the space between them. The simple gesture was a lifeline in this sea of despair. The distant rumble of an engine broke the spell. Liam's bus was approaching. He looked at her, his eyes filled with an ocean of unshed tears. He opened his mouth to speak, but the words caught in his throat. Instead, he simply nodded, a silent farewell that echoed the depth of their unspoken emotions. Amelia watched as he climbed onto the bus, his silhouette a fading image against the bleak landscape. She stood there, frozen, as the bus pulled away, leaving her alone in the biting wind. The small, smooth stone remained warm in her hand, a tangible reminder of a love that transcended distance and time, a love that would forever remain etched in the chambers of her heart, a love that would never truly leave. The 5 minutes were over. The world felt colder, emptier, but somewhere deep inside, a spark of their love remained, burning brightly in the face of unending sorrow.